Hello, here I am again. I'm Redheaded Writing Hood. You can call me Red for short. And I'm going live. I spent some time doing a cool thumbnail, and it had a flame on it that was like moving. And for some reason, I couldn't download it to my computer to put on the live. So that was unfortunate. I've been busy today. I go to Coda on Wednesday, Codependence Anonymous, and I really like it. Here's my Coda book that I just got. I just went back to that because I had a bad experience at a church-led recovery group. And so I hadn't been back to one until 2022, having left it in 2014. And so, 2022 was a big year because I went back to the recovery group. I didn't keep going to recovery group. Then I found a church. I went back to church, and I hadn't been to church since 2019. So now I'm going to church and a recovery group. And I went to the store after I got a burger first because you're not supposed to go to the store hungry. I was like, I need to go home and eat something. And I'm like, I'm going live tonight, so I don't really have time for all that. So I got a burger, and then I went to the King Supers, and I got this cool candle. Red's followers are called flames. That's why I was trying to I saw in Canva there was a cool, all these little things that move, and there was a flame, so I put it on my thumbnail, but then I couldn't download it. But I am gonna light the candle for you, flames. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So there's no one watching yet, but I'll keep going. I'll keep going. Anybody out there? I'm going to share it out. Let me see here. Let me do that. Maybe that will help. I'm echoing. That means my sound is working. Well, somebody gave me a thumbs up. So is somebody here? My eye on my computer is still not working. Red is LVE. Okay. I'm going to wait. I'm going to put subscribers only for like 15 minutes. I don't know, something like that. No, maybe I'll just put 5 minutes. Not even anybody here. The trolls like to come when there's a lot of people. That's when the trolls usually come. So that's something that you can say is good about trolls. You're doing your job well if you have trolls, because you're getting people to come to your lives. And it still says 0 watching, but maybe I'll watch the replay. So I talked to my daughter today, and yeah, I think I'm going to see if my son can go at the same time as me for Christmas to Philly. So I'm excited about that. And then I saw this candy that's called Lily. My grandbaby Lily, my youngest granddaughter Lily, is going to be 1 on the 25th. So that's exciting. And I texted my daughter to see what sizes that my granddaughters are in now, because I was looking at baby clothes. I love baby clothes. Hey, Glenn, good to see you. Hello. Thank you for being here. I'm like all alone. Yeah, I had a very good day. I'm very glad that I found this Coda group. It's really good. And I really think it's going to help me to have that support to, have better relationships, especially, with my kids. So yeah, it's good to see you. You know what I want to do? I didn't do yet. I want to go over to Lindy's and see. I want to hear. I don't know. Maybe I can. I should have asked her if I could have Jason's number. That's what I should have asked her, because I just wanted to know that everything went okay. And I have Lindy's number. I might. Let me see. Let me see if she's posted anything about the live there. Okay. Well, I haven't heard anything yet, but be watching Lindy's page for news. I might text Carol. Hi, Sylvia. Hello. Thank you. Well, you're not alone. Always in our hearts and thoughts. Thanks, Glenn. I'm really having a different attitude towards, well, especially, I think I already said to y'all that I really love being alone. I really love living alone, and I realized recently that I'm a introvert. How are you, Sylvia? I was just over at looking at Lindy's channel to see if she said anything, or Jason said anything. So keep an eye out on that. And there's her link. So as I was saying, I tried to do a thumbnail, and it had the flame, and the flame was moving. It was so cool. But I went to the work of making this thumbnail, and I for some reason I couldn't download it. I'm wondering if maybe I have downloaded too many and I need to delete some or something. I don't know, but it didn't work. So I don't have a thumbnail, but that's okay. I don't always have a thumbnail anyways. So You made it. Yes, you did. You did. I'm gonna do my prayer list. So, um, yeah, and I went to that concert, which was Fleetwood Mac on strings on Saturday, which was good. And I have some I have shorts I need to do, and I'm gonna get to that. I'm going to get to that. Um, so I was praying about, like, should I? Yeah. Yeah, she said Friday. Yeah, I know. So, but keep an eye out for Lindy, maybe to go live Friday. Yeah. So, but it's hard. I wish I should have asked her, can I have can I have Jason's number? But I don't want to bother them also. So I don't know. They'll be fine. She'll be okay. Just keep praying for Lindy and Jason, because he was worried. She was at my live Monday, and she said he was making her feel stressed because the questions, I guess, he was asking. So, so, but yeah. So I was praying about, like, what to do this live on, and I'm like, can I just not do a subject? And I felt like that was a no. I needed to do a subject. So I decided to do it on being authentic. Yes, thank you. Sending prayers for Lindy. Send up prayers for Lindy. Because she had a procedure. Glenn knew about it. So I didn't really, and maybe that was Jason's concern, that he didn't really understand what it was, but it's to do with her heart. That's about all I know. I wanted to read you a poem by someone else. So this is a poem I really liked, and to maybe get across to you guys how I was just very zealous. I was, and very evangelical, and very goody two shoes. But I memorized this poem at one time. I don't remember it well enough to say it by memory, though. And it's by Amy Carmichael. And I wrote. It's funny. I should see if I can find it. I think it's on my external hard drive that got damaged, that I still might try to get the stuff off of it. But I wrote a thing about hell, which is interesting. I'd like to go back and read that, but before I stopped believing in hell. It's funny. And now it's nothing to joke about, but the Newsboys, I put this in my little article on hell. The Newsboys have a song called Breakfast, and it is kind of a parody. It's kind of making a joke out of it, though. So, and it's talking about breakfast. When the toast is burned and all the milk has turned, and Captain Crunch is waving farewell, when the big one finds you, let the song remind you that they don't serve breakfast in hell. So, anyways, but I think the thing I wrote, the article I wrote, though, was called Fire. And my little little thing that I put on my tab thumbnail that I couldn't download reminded me of it. And then reminded me of this poem. And I'm like, sometimes I read you guys other poems. So I'm going to read you this Amy Carmichael poem that I had put in my little thing on fire. Actually, the fire a lot of times in the Bible is supposed to, burn away the, like the word Catholic comes from the word catharsis, which means to burn away the impurities in you. And I still believe, like, people that believe in universal salvation still believe that there's a judgment and there's a cleansing, but it's not eternal. So anyways, that's kind of what this song mentions. It's called Make Me Thy Fuel, and it's by Amy Carmichael, who was a missionary to India in the 1800s, I think. So it goes like this. From prayers that ask that I may be sheltered from winds that beat on thee, from fearing when I should aspire, from faltering when I should climb higher, from silken self, O captain free, thy soldier who would follow thee, from subtle love of softening things, from easy choices, weakenings. Not thus are spirits fortified, not this way went the crucified. From all that dims thy Calvary, O Lamb of God, deliver me. Give me the love that leads the way. There was a minister that had Leading the Way, his title. The faith that nothing can dismay, the hope no disappointments tire, the passion that will burn like fire. Let me not sink to be a clod. Make me thy fuel, flame of God. So that's good. And I kind of think of it as how it ties into authenticity is God will burn away all the fakeness from us. And I really don't like that. And I have, like, I've said before, like, talking about how things were with my ex, my covert narcissistic ex. And I said how he was a very good actor, that he could be very nice. But then one day I realized really that I was acting too, and a lot of people didn't realize that our marriage was in trouble because we were both good actors, So there's a poem in here. Yeah, I realized, we were both acting. There's one poem where I said, okay. Yeah, this is the one where I talk about the fire, like burning away everything. And I put a quote from an Eminem and Sia song, Beautiful Pain. It's an Eminem song that Sia's on. I feel the burn, watch the smoke as I turn, rising a phoenix from the flames. I have learned from fighting fights that weren't mine, not with fists, but with wings that I will fly. This is called Unlimited. Throw the match, set the past ablaze. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, my tears have turned my heart to rust. Sometimes I don't want to go, but I must. Everything's on fire, like the woods the summer he came home. There's a burn ban till October. No matter, don't mind, no find. Crash, crash, it's smashed, totally trashed. That old dream has died. He said he loved me, but he lied. The white picket fence has gone up in flame, and I'm the only one to blame. I am suffocating, desperate for air. The wolf chews off her leg to get free of the trap. They're just waiting for her to snap. Her wings were clipped and burned, but now her fate has turned. Who died? I did. because they hurt me so bad. It was like they murdered my past and threw dirt on my casket. How curious to be free. There are no strings on me. My future is unlimited. To the sky I will fly so high. Looking down on the ruins, I find him there. This time I won't come crashing down to the ground. I will glide with the wind's currents, blowing here and there, flowing in the spirit. You hear the sound of it, but cannot predict where it will leave its effects next. Hey, Betty. Hi. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I'm talking about authenticity and how it's Coda Day. I go to Coda on Wednesdays, and I got my Coda book here. And so when you're codependent, you're a people pleaser and you're fake, you know? And so my ex is codependent also. My ex is very enabling and codependent, and we were just a mess. we made a mess. We made a mess. And so, but I'm very hopeful, you guys. I'm very hopeful right now. I'm striving to be honest and real with my kids, because I found that, like, my daughter that's talking to me, that I was always so scared to really tell her what I thought and felt, because I didn't want to be rejected again. You know, I don't want to be, you know, her sisters aren't in contact with me. So, hey, Ark. Hi, Bren. Thank you for being here. Thank you. So, so I was being fake. I was going back into being fake, you know, and, you know, I don't want to be that way. I need, you know, being authentic is important, you know, and so codependents have a problem with that too. Not just narcissists, you know, so because you don't want to make any waves, and you know, you don't want to get anybody mad, and you want everybody to like you. And I'm just like, I'm done. I got to be done being fake. And I feel like, you know, I will progress faster because, you know, I kept getting stuck, and I kept getting into these more relationships that were codependent and enmeshed and messed up, and we're both being fake again. You know, I'm in a relationship with a codependent person. You know, maybe they're not narcissistic, but they're codependent and they're being fake too. You know, not being honest. So, yeah. So, and it's really it's interesting time because of it being election year, and you know, it's hard. You know, last Wednesday I was trying to do, well, I did. It went surprisingly well. So I did a live on, you know, Can't We All Get Along? So, and it went surprisingly well, better than I thought it was going to. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say my elephant poem for y'all. But yeah, that's what I decided to talk about. So, you guys have any thoughts on that? On being authentic and being able to be honest with people, even when you're afraid? I see you, Sylvia. um, I should read you this poem I wrote. I wrote this poem. I don't know if I wrote it in 2008, but it stayed with me. I wrote it. I maybe wrote it later, but I'm not sure when I wrote it. But I wrote a poem about Election Day 2008. And that was interesting, and not about any of the um, candidates or anything, but oh no, if you need to, well, it's hard to. You need to have a definition of the word. Yeah, we need interdependence, is what they say instead. Do you think relationships in themselves almost demand codependency? Otherwise, we would all just be single. It's human nature to want to have someone to either take care of or be taken care of. Um, I've just learned from a lot of experience. Um, where it gets unhealthy is where you're not, if you're not able to say no, and then you're saying yes when you really want to say no, and then you get bitter. I was getting very bitter, and um, I was, and even in the 4 years since I left Georgia, I tried to in the last 4 years, I've tried to reconnect with all of my children, even the ones that I wasn't talking to. And it didn't work with some of them because they're still very disrespectful. And in the past, I would still try to connect with them, even though they were like that. And so I feel like what you're talking about, Glenn, is like interdependence. It's like, yeah, you still want to do stuff for people, but out of, that's what I'm saying, authenticity, out of a real desire to do things for people, you know? Um, and I think that's what they usually say is interdependence instead of codependence. And so, and I got into that very much with my friendship with Gladys, and and it wasn't healthy, and she didn't even recognize her codependency, and she almost wanted me to leave Georgia before I was ready, because she was very nervous about living in the St. Louis area, and she got a gun and everything, and she had to go up there without her dog, without her pit bull, which I think made her more uncomfortable. She was like, aren't you gonna leave? I'm like, what do I do with all the stuff? I was trying to sell all my stuff, and she's like, put it in the shed, because I had a shed in the backyard. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna sell it all, and then I'll go up there. But she left Georgia in January 2020, and then, but it was just, it's hard to explain it unless you've experienced it, and then everybody being too involved in, like the only way I could imagine my relationship with my kids is being codependent, And my ex did, like with my older kids, try to tell them what to do, what to take at college, this, that, and the other. And he has done that and as a result, I feel like my oldest isn't really I mean, she's a nurse, but I don't feel like she's really in the best um, uh, profession for her. I don't think she likes it. I don't think she enjoys it. But and all of that was very codependent. And I feel my ex I've sort of stepped back some, and besides, I'm not in a position to give them a lot of money. um, but I feel like my ex often gives them too much. It's bad because he's and that's how he tries to control them, is with the money. So yeah, that's the thing. Even friendships fall apart. It's like you said, it's the trust not only within yourself but in the other person as well. Yeah, but it's not. If you understand a definition of codependency, it's over giving. And Terry Cole, hi CW, hello, 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 good to see you. I'm putting you on the prayer list. I have 2 pins over here. Okay. But the thing with happened with Gladys is, like, she really didn't appreciate my friendship, and she got mad because I caused her bad tenant to leave, but he was leaving anyways, you know. He was leaving anyways, and and I wanted to get him out of there because I honestly was starting to feel like it wasn't safe to have him there. But anyways, that was my codependency too. I should have just left it, but it wasn't a healthy friendship. It was very codependent. And that's why I feel like it's good for me to be alone right now and to live alone. And although, it's a little bit lonely sometimes, I'm getting better about that. But yeah. But I feel like as I learn to relate in a healthy way to people, it'll get better. And I feel like it makes me less, because like a codependent that's trying to please everybody, and then a narcissist who's selfish and wants everybody to serve them, they're like a magnet. There's this guy that Ross Rosenberg, who has a good channel. He has a book about it called The Human Magnet Syndrome. But also, let me drop you some good links on codependency. But yeah, and so my subject today on authenticity, this kind of goes with both of them. And what I'm saying is, like, the narcissist is being fake, and pretending to be nice, but the codependent is also being fake because they're people pleasing and they want everybody to like them. So the one I just mentioned, Ross Rosenberg, I'll drop his link first. But yeah, his is, and I feel like, because I would not only attract narcissistic men, boyfriends, but I would attract narcissistic friends. I had a best friend, and after the fact too, I finally had to cut her off. And then she had 1 child too. So this is really heartbreaking. She had 1 child, and that child will have nothing to do with her. And I feel like her husband is pretty narcissistic too. So it was it was really difficult. So I was friends with them for a long time. And then I'm like, this is what the problem, oh my goodness, when I finally learned more about narcissists, because I thought it's just the obvious, the grandiose one. So that's my reminder to pray. Pray for our children. So not only the grandiose narcissist is like my father-in-law, and I knew that, but when I learned about the different types of narcissists, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's her. And she's almost like a communal narcissist, because she's a she's a Christian narcissist. But I was like, whoa. And the reason I would attract them is because I'm used to it, because my dad was, and then I also realized my grandmother was. And I'm like, wow, it's wild. But let me drop Ross Rosenberg's channel. Oh, I spelled Berg wrong, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's BERG, not BURG, but anyways. But that's the link. And then a book I just got, the Boundaries book. The Boundary Boss book is by Terry Cole. I shared her link on here before. But check these out. If you're wondering about somebody, Terry Cole doesn't very much go into the narcissist as much as trying to help you with your codependency. And then she just wrote a book on Too Much. It's about high functioning codependence. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that was so me. It's just like, let me help you. Let me do this, that, or the. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. You guys, I've even stopped cooking as much for people. I've stopped cooking as much because even when I moved out of my ex's house, I would still cook for my kids, and I'd give them containers of food. And when my sons were up at college, I'd bring them containers of food. And then I started doing the Airbnb, and I was just like, I feed people. It's just what I do. I feed people. And then doing the food does get a lot of views. So I still do the food on my channel, but I'm wanting to do more, other videos. And I'm going to get back to that, because I could go on with the series of, They Might Be a Narcissist If, those shorts. I can go on with those for a long time. And also what the bullies taught me, because the bullies taught me so much. And that's what it was, codependency too, that attracted to them, and that they saw in me that, I wanted their approval and them to like me. And that made me like a target. A bully doesn't want a person that's not going to care if you do a video about, like, a bully's not going to want a childhood bully's not going to want someone that's going to stand up to him and hit him back. You're going to punch me, I'm going to punch you back. That doesn't work. They want one that's, that thinks they deserve it or something like that, And so Ross Rosenberg, Terry Cole. But yeah, you got to look into what the definition of it is. And it's like an unhealthy need to people please and, help everybody and fix everybody and all of that. And it goes beyond just people. It started out as a term for people in relationship to people who are addicted, alcoholics, and all that. But it's more than that. It's so many people are codependent. It's true. Um, yeah, it's harmful to yourself. And being codependent, you usually have low self-esteem, and and you're just trying, and that's why I decided, like, I have to stop chasing my kids. And I tried to reconnect with my daughter and my oldest two, actually, in October 2021, and it did not work. And through text and whatever, it's like they you know things would, and I'm hopeful that things can change. But I'm feeling like first I need to take a step back and stop chasing them and stop accepting unacceptable behavior. If you're gonna say, like, I was never a good mom to you, this, that, and the other, and stuff in the past, then it's like, why are you contacting me? It's like, I don't want a relationship like that. And so it's very difficult. It's very difficult to let go. I mean, these are my babies. They were my babies. So that's been the hardest thing. To let go of my ex has been like easy in comparison to trying to let go of my kids, and realizing, if they, and just saying, if you want to have a different, better sort of relationship, I'm right here, but I'm not going to go chasing after them. I wrote them like all letters, except for I never was disconnected from my younger son, who's in the middle. So I never really got disconnected from him. But like my oldest two, it's like on again, off again. It's like ridiculous. It's like exhausting. This is we. No, I'm not gonna start singing. Get myself in trouble. Start singing Taylor Swift. We are never, ever, ever. But I'm more hopeful now. I'm more hopeful now because I'm changing, and I hopefully that they see that, like, I'm strong, and I'm not, that, I love them. I love them. I pray for them every day. I want you in my life, but I don't want it to be like it was before, because, that's not how you should treat your mother. That was disrespectful. Yeah. And then Lisa A. Romano. And it's also, it kind of goes with the subject, because, when you're being codependent, you're being fake too. You're not being authentic. You're saying yes when you want to say no. You're doing, But I am very thankful, because I had no support system. Like when I left Georgia, I am so thankful for, and I know God put her in my life for that time. I'm very thankful for Gladys. But it ended, when I left St. Louis and came here to Denver. And I feel like that was right and that was good. And that's hard because I feel like, so lately I've been thinking like, oh, I want a friend, but then someone comes into my life and then I see the red flags so fast, like that, because I've had friends. I had this woman that came into my life like before I left Georgia, and there were a lot of red flags. And I realized she kind of like had a vendetta, and I knew she was, and I finally did know that she was the mother of this woman from my old church. Like back in 2002, we were at two Baptist churches in Georgia that I kind of got kicked out of both of them, which is bad. For being honest, you're not supposed to be honest. I was trying to speak up about things that weren't right. Hi, Judy. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, they're like one-sided. Sometimes they're like one-sided relationships. It's difficult a lot of times to even care because a lot of those times you don't receive that back. Life can be a pain in the ass. And yeah, I do want to say no, but it's hard. Yeah, it's hard for me too. And I'm finding like especially with my kids, like I want to, um, I want to reconnect with them so bad. And that's why like I went to Georgia in my RV in 2021 in October. But it was too soon. It wasn't, and they didn't invite me there really. I mean, I didn't stay with them. I stayed in an RV park, but and it was disastrous because I got locked out of my RV. You can see that video. Let's see. I could show you that video. I put Lisa Romano's. Okay. Let me see if I can find that one. Yeah, here it is. When I got locked out. Also, what I want to show you the video. If I could find it, I need to go back way back. I was very thankful for Jarhead and Ginger's journey. Who knew? Someone that was right next to me at the RV park in Georgia. And then I talked to them, and then she was like, I kept thinking, you look familiar. And then we found out we knew each other from 20 years earlier at that church I was just talking about. So, yeah, at the first Baptist church we were at in Georgia. But because when I left Georgia, it was so difficult, and I didn't get the money. I had no money, and I was homeless. And when I sold my house and it happened to be, I sold my house on Gladys's birthday, which was funny too. I sold my house on the end of August in 2020. And then I paid for them to do a wire transfer. They're supposed to be instant, and it was on a Friday. And then I didn't go in. So there I was, just what I feared, you know. There's a verse in the book of Job that says, my fears have come upon me, you know. What I feared has come upon me. And yeah, I was homeless and I didn't have any money. And so my phone died too. It was funny. I have to ask, is this video going to be funny or sad? Kind of both. Well, you know, it was sad when I went to Georgia, but the video is not sad, I don't think. I don't think. I was very thankful that I was, because usually I would stay at an RV park in my RV, and I wouldn't meet anybody really in the RV park. I had met this other lady that was really nice who had a mini, what was it? It was one like mine. It was like a Class C, but she had a little Class C. She was from Florida. And she was really nice, but she wasn't there because when I got locked out was like the second night I was there. I think she had left. I think it was the second or third night I was there. And so I was just very thankful that I just met these people next door to me, and they had a sofa in there. They had a huge Grand Design. They have a smaller one now. I'll drop that link too. Let's see, Jarhead and Gingers, I think, and they got, it was right after that too. They got monetized. I think that year, 2021. But like, we really don't connect that much. I don't really, you know, you might like it, so I'll let you check it out and see what you think. But it's not, what the heck? Why is my copy and paste thing not coming up? So, yeah. See, I didn't recognize her name. I thought people always look familiar to me, so I thought she looked familiar, but she was the one that brought it up, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember you, because her name is Allison, but she's a redhead too, so that's why it's Jarhead and Ginger's Journey. So, but yeah, I have some. You probably, if you don't want to watch a sad video, you won't want to watch the one I was. I mean, I wasn't. The one is sad one. COVID, when I went to when I went to Walmart and I was crying in the car. That one's sad. But the one where I was trying to, I don't know what the name of the video is, which is why I can't find it. I'm going to try a different way to find it. I'm going to go to my videos and then go to oldest. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's August 29th when I sold my house. Okay, this one. I need to share this one on my community tab. It says August 29th, 2020. It's been stressful, but my house is sold. I was so happy, but and I lost 30 pounds since I left Georgia. Well, I gained 7 pounds back at last Christmas, which I'm gonna lose now. um, um, this was the day after. So it was so that's why I was so thankful for Gladys. And she helped me. And then I had a friend named Lillian that I met when I was selling my stuff in my house. And she was nice and a healthy person. And she paid for my hotel. The first night, Gladys loaned me some money, and then I got a hotel room because my phone died and I was trying to get an Airbnb, and my phone died because I was in a U-Haul, and the thing, I didn't know that the charger thing didn't work. The cigarette lighter charger thing didn't work. And so my phone died, and I was out of my house. I had signed the papers. They were supposed to wire the money into my account. So then, I'd have plenty of money to, pay for everything. But it didn't go in, and it wasn't going to go until Monday. So I had to contact Gladys to help me. And Lillian put me up in a hotel that was like 2 minutes from my ex's house, 2 minutes from my daughter's house, yeah, a lot of people gain weight over the holidays. But I'm hoping not to. But I am excited because I think me and my son are going to go to meet in Philly like we did last year at Christmas, and it was so fun. And I'm still wanting to post a video from then where my son and my daughter are on the swings, where we went to the park with the girls, with the babies, and my son and daughter are on the swings, and I didn't post it, and I wanted to post it. So yeah, look for that. Upcoming. And I think I'm going to keep doing Friday. Like, you guys, I get exhausted doing all these like heavy topics, like trying to talk about politics and not talk about politics was stressful. And then, so Friday, it's just going to be like a fun live. I'm going to keep doing that. It's just going to be dinner with Red. So Friday, look for me Friday, dinner with Red. I don't know what I'm having yet. What am I having? I don't know. I just got groceries. Oh, I might do the chicken parmesan. I might do that. Or shrimp fettuccine alfredo. What do you think I should do? Yeah, it gets. I'm finding that because like I gained I gained that at Christmas last year, and still, at least I'm maintaining. I'm staying at the same place. Chili. I'm not gonna make chili again right now because, and I went to Wendy's and got a burger today. And I usually when I go to I can have chili though because I have some in the freezer. Um, so no dessert when you're trying to lose weight. I got dessert. I'm going to a Coda picnic on Saturday, so I got some potato salad. I'll show you what I got. I love dessert, but I'm trying to not do dessert. Since I went to the store today, but my specialty is red velvet cupcakes. I I do have a sweet tooth. Low fat? No, it's high fat. I got coconut macaroons to take to the picnic, the Coda picnic, and brownie bites and potato salad. But see, like I'm not even in the past I would be, and my ex was good at this too, with with the guilt tripping. You have to make everything yourself. You can't buy, you can't get store bought. That's horrible. But my specialty is the red velvet cupcakes and carrot cupcakes. That's what I would have at Red's Airbnb. So did I share the video? Okay, I shared that video. Let me find another one for you. And I shared Jarhead and Ginger's journey. But yeah, these are people I'm like really thankful for them too. But I just didn't really get into their channel. It's like a very different thing. And I've thought this too. Like, I don't really think I want to do van life, especially not full time again. But if I did find my new husband and he wanted to do it, I might, because I'm telling you, there is a lot of stuff. Like when I know people that RV couples and the woman doesn't even drive. Not saying any names, Brenda. No. So, and like the stinky slinky is what they call the emptying the black tank and the hose from doing that. RVing is a lot of work. That's why I don't think I'd ever want to do it full time again. But when and now I have some time because I'm thinking the next road trip might not be unless I decide to go to Quartzsite. I don't know. But before my next road trip would be driving to Philly next spring, I'd like to get a van, and I think I'd like to get a minivan and just maybe sort of build out a bed myself and do it part-time, part-time van life. And that would save on getting a hotel because that's a lot of money. So when I drive, I get a hotel, and now I've been saying it's 1,700 miles to Philly from here. And I do it in 2 days. It's 25 hours. And I need to really break that up to 3 days because it's 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. So it's a long ways. But anyways, I was going to read you this poem about Election Day and just honoring veterans. And there was a big long line to vote in 2008. Y'all remember that election? 2008. And I was still a Republican then. Election Day 2008. And it's called Thank You. I was standing there waiting like everyone else, exercising my freedom. He stood behind me, his wife by his side, with a faraway sadness in his eyes. His cap said Vietnam vet. There was a time he wouldn't wear it, I bet. He noticed the dark skinned man behind. His cap was the exact same kind. Brothers, they were friends instantly. They'd been through the same war and insanity. I decided to offer a kind gesture of thanks. Go ahead of me, both of you. I'm exercising my freedom that was bought for me. I didn't have to pay. I got it for free. You paid it for me. It was such a small thing. It was nothing at all. The man was astonished with those tears in his eyes. What small thing can you do on any special day to show them the honor they're due? Do it now, don't delay, because you may not have another day. So it was a Vietnam vet behind me, and I let him go in front of me, and then they had noticed the other man, and so I let him go in front of me, and the man stopped, and I don't think they might not have been voting for the same person. One was light skinned, one was dark skinned. And but I let them both go in front of me, and the older one took me aside after he waited for me to vote, and he wanted to thank me because those especially the Vietnam vets were treated horribly when they came back. So yeah. That was one I should have read that last Wednesday, but I didn't think of it. But yeah, that's in the 7-story tree. And again, if you want the 7-story tree, you can send me a donation of any amount. 14 would be good. 20 would be good. Especially if you're out of state, send me something. If you're out of the country, this is my email. You send your snail mail address to. And there you go. So let me see if I can find you the red velvet cupcake video. And I'll share that. Because I didn't at first start using going by red. So I did this one a year ago. Did this one here. So but at Red's Airbnb, I would have the red velvet cupcakes and the carrot cupcakes, which was my mom's recipe, which was very good too. But Albert really liked when I first came to Denver. When I first moved to Denver, I was staying with my son at my son's apartment with his best friend from grammar school, Albert. And Albert's birthday is in the beginning of July, and he loves my red velvet cupcakes, so I made them for him. And I just got this recipe off online, and it's McCormick, and they're really good. Yeah, my son loves them too. So yeah, and my when like I have a lot of I have a few poems about. Let me find you a poem about Red's Airbnb. And when I write my book, I'm going to write about that. Like I've been telling you some of the stories from Red's Airbnb, funny stories. And that's how I met Gladys. So I met Gladys in 2018. She was a long-term guest when she came to Georgia, and she was buying a house. And yeah, I feel like I just have a I don't know. I feel like some things you just get. Like I'm a good cook, and I don't always do well with plants though. Like my mom, I don't think I inherited her green thumb. I think Claire does better. I wanted to ask. I didn't ask Claire though. I got the girls' sizes today because I'm like I was looking at baby. It's so fun to buy baby clothes. So expensive to send anything to her, but I just love to buy baby clothes. And since it's Lily's birthday on the 25th, my little Lily is going to be one. I got candy. I got this Lily's candy today. That I'll probably bring at Christmas. Gummy bears and sour gummy worms. And I have a pumpkin candle that's red. No one was here when I lit the candle. It smells good. It's lavender mahogany. So I got my red kitty. So yeah. But yeah, the recipe I got is online, and it's McCormick's. They make the vanilla, and they make the food coloring, the red food coloring. You made a beanie for Lindy. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I eventually might go back to learning to crochet. I need to finish my puzzle too. I got my computer here setting on my puzzle. It's a wolf puzzle. Let's see. I'm gonna eventually finish that. Let me see if I can find. So, anyways, the codependency thing. So the codependency thing would come up when I was doing Airbnb also, and it would be difficult for me because I would have some long-term guests, and like I said, I had the one that was narcissistic, and then he started not paying on time, and then I said, I was just like, I hate to have to tell him to leave. So what I did was I kept saying, I'm going back on Airbnb. You have to book it on Airbnb. Okay. I'm not going to block it off for you. You're going to have to book it on Airbnb. And I kept telling him that, and he didn't do it. And then I said, I'm sorry, Tony, someone else booked your room next week. And that was hard for me. And so I felt like I was learning. I kind of felt like all through these years, these lessons come up, and it's like God teaching me, trying to teach me things to be able to, have a healthier relationship and not have healthier relationships and not be a doormat and not be so codependent. Okay. Yeah. And so I got a better long-term guest. And then also the crazy guest I had, Amber, who I said had such a dysfunctional past, and like her ex-boyfriend attempted suicide, and then she went to this other her stepmother's brother's house or something like that, and he attempted to it was just like, and she was very ungrateful, and she had this rich woman in California paying for her. I had to get her out of my house because the rich woman in California wasn't putting up with her nonsense anymore. And then I got another, and it was so cool because I got another better long-term guest who was an RN student. Amber was a CNA student. That's just a short course you get to work in like a nursing home or something. But here's one poem. I have several about my Airbnb. It's called Making Room. Out with the old, in with the new. Goodbye users and losers and abusers. Hello to the heroes, the airmen, mechanics, nurses, and workers. Thank you for your service. Hello to the medical students from far off lands, the Georgia Tech boys, and new lifelong friends. Welcome to Reds. I had a couple of medical students, so the one that was bad was the one that was trying to get a green card, and then I had some other ones that were good. She told you she didn't. You can do make the cupcakes. Let us know how you did. You've turned chicken into fossil fuel? Wow, you really overcooked it then, didn't you? She told you long ago she didn't need a beanie, but wanted to make her one for colder nights. Yeah, it gets cold in the winter, not like in Colorado, but yeah. Let me find another one about my Airbnb. But so I found like I was learning lots of lessons about things as I did my what was I saying? I'm looking through my poems and I'm trying to talk at the same time and I'm getting confused. So, yeah, I was learning lots of lessons about codependency and being able to say no to people and, just saying I had this long-term guest and he would come to work in Warner Robins and regularly stay. The nicest guy, and he and his wife and his son stayed one time because they came to Warner Robins for a diabetic camp, I think, that his son was going to. But I had such a hard time. I don't know if I think it was around the time I just stopped doing Airbnb anyways. But I just had such a hard time because he would book it on Airbnb like he was supposed to and everything like that. But he worked, I think he did work during the day. Some people I had worked nights. Like I had some nurses that worked nights, travel nurses that worked nights and would sleep during the day. So then I'd have to be really quiet during the day. But I don't think he did. And I forgot his name. But he would go get Burger King after work, and he would always spill his Coke on my on my bedspread, which was a big fluffy comforter that I would have to pay $16 to wash at the laundromat because it didn't fit very well in my washing machine. And I was like, and I said something to him a couple times, and I was just like, and I hated, it was so difficult. And then when I would feel uncomfortable with some men, and then I thought, like, well, I'll go to just women and couples, like that. But then I was like, I had some really decent men who were regular customers. So I'm like, I don't want to change it to that. So I just went back and forth with this Airbnb, and it was a good thing for 2 years that I did from 2017 till 2019. And because I couldn't find a regular job. And during that time, Mohammed, the green card guy, came and stayed at my Airbnb, and I fell for him. And it was the same month that we finally had our divorce mediation. My ex didn't fight me on anything, which I was kind of surprised at. On the alimony or anything. And but then that whole month, it was at the beginning of the month, and then the next month I was finally divorced, September 2018. So I kind of think my ex might have found him. I can't prove that though, but it is a thing. I found out, I was at the nail salon and talking to the nail salon girl about it, and she said that happened to my friend. She said my friend was getting alimony from her ex-husband. She met someone who was from out of the country who wanted a green card, and she married him, and then he left her. He deserted her. So he married her just to get the green card. So it is a thing. So, and then after that, I was afraid I would want people to explain to me why they were coming and everything, especially men that were coming. And I had a couple of men from Atlanta wanting to book my Airbnb. I'm like, no, because they wouldn't tell me like why they were coming there or anything. And yeah, it was interesting, and it was sometimes difficult. I wrote one that's called I'm not finding it. Let's see. I'll read you a different one. My eye is not working. Okay. This one, here's a poem that I wrote called Invisible, and it's inspired by two different things. There's a song by Hunter Hayes, and that's really beautiful, and I really could relate to. My video's still going here. It's really a beautiful song. Um, I'm putting it on my. Okay, let me read you this poem. And it was also inspired by a skit that was done at Women of Faith um, about a mom just feeling like invisible. And I'll post that too so you can see it. But I need to do more videos of my poems, and I think I'll maybe do this one. That's a good one, and there are some of my other poems, and I need to do. I have so much stuff to do, you guys. I'm getting more stuff done since I'm not working at the pool anymore, and so look for that. Look for that and pray for Red to get going on her writing and doing more videos of poems and all of that. Yeah. But let me read you this one. It's called Invisible. So it's inspired by a skit that was done at Women of Faith and the Hunter Hayes song, Invisible, and the Bible, of course. The first verse in Genesis, where Hagar runs away from Sarah, and she says, "Thou God seest me," because he comes to her, helps her, tells her to go back though. It is this called Invisible. Thou God sees me. It seemed at first like he knew me, yet he looked right through me. No one sees the battle I'm fighting. Come on, he says. They don't see you or appreciate you or respect you or even care. There's others who will. Surely I've cleansed my hand in vain. I don't have a scandalous story, but I have a story. He who does what is right comes to the light. He who does what is wrong will sing a sad song. You have a great friend. You're building a cathedral. You're not invisible to him. I'm waving a flag for who you are and all you're going to be. Someday you'll look back and all this pain will be invisible. One day all this pain and petty ponderings, unpaid bills and wanderings will be gone. And there'll be happy happenings, peace and joy, Jesus, who paid all my debt. There'll be love that lasts forever and happy ever after. Hallelujah. Oh, here's one about Red's Airbnb. Bedtime stories with Red. This is what I was talking about. I didn't. If I don't know the title to the poem, you guys, my book of poems, because I've been writing it since I finished this one, right? And that was 2015. I've been writing it since 2015. So I've been writing it almost 10 years now. Really, yeah, really probably 10 years now, because all of the poems I had written are not in here. So some of them I might have already wrote, but didn't make it in here, you know? So I've been writing this and it's 317 pages and it's 51,507 words. My Word document says. So sometimes if I don't remember the title to the poem, I can't search for it in the document and find it. So this one is called, though, Bedtime Stories with Red, and it's about my Airbnb. I know God sent you here for a blessing or a lesson. So welcome to Red's. It's a comfortable bed, like sleeping on a cloud. A powerful shower to peel the paint off a Volvo. That's from my actual Airbnb, an actual Airbnb review. Cupcakes and M&Ms, chicken pot pie or pot roast, coffee or tea. Sit by the fire, talk to me. Want to hear a story about the Syrian who sold my heart? The Russian who slept on my porch? The Chinese exchange student who solved my Rubik's Cube? I had all the little toys on the table. My J-Lo who was filled with wisdom. The millionaire who wouldn't buy my book. True story. The adorable actor who played John Wilkes Booth. I had an actor from the series Sleepy Hollow stay at my Airbnb. The model and author who stops sex trafficking. An author. I had an author. Blue can tell you about her boring hotel. That's Amber. The other one that I did a poem about, her hair was blue. So we were red and blue. There's been so many red and blues, and then Gladys's dog is blue. But Reds is much more fun and cheaper too, with better and healthier food for you. You'll hear about my Georgia Tech boys, how they could eat, the airmen and the workers. So I was by the Air Force Base, so I had airmen, plane mechanics, Gladys and the nurse with the stuff, sweet Jenny whose car I scratched. My first guest, I scratched her car, but she was so sweet about it. She didn't even, I told her. I just felt so bad. I wasn't used to anybody else being in the driveway, and I was going to an appointment, and I was probably running late. Okay. Sweet Jenny whose car I scratched, the heartbroken Marine, the lady with one leg and two names. This is all true. True story. My superhost friend escaped from Flo. I had a friend who was a Airbnb host in North Carolina and Hurricane Flo, and so she came and stayed at my Airbnb. But her dog would go woo 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 woo. He was a basset hound. The fair girls here for the hurricane too. Cannabis lady and her dog dude. Oh, Cannabis lady was from Colorado, and she worked at a big cannabis place and the greenhouses where they grow the pot. They warned me about my boo. They warned me about Muhammad. Now I say thank you. 2 guys booked for Valentine's Day, but I scared them away. Southern hospitality from a Southern Cali lady. Y'all come back now, you hear? So that was a funny story too. So like I said, I was nervous about some single men, but these 2 guys booked for Valentine's Day, and I didn't know why they booked it, right? And it's one of those awkward times, right? And it was when I first started out, right? And I didn't know, right? And so I had a friend that worked at Walmart, and I was telling her about it, and she bought my book. She was like my oldest daughter's age, and she had a little girl, and so she bought a copy of my elephant book when I was selling them, before I found out, they weren't going to give me my royalties and all that. But I had bought copies from them, and I sold them to people. I bought them for $10 a piece, though. So the price was $21 on my book, which is a normal price for a hardcover, a nice hardcover picture book like that. But so I was talking to her at Walmart about this. I don't know why these guys booked my Airbnb and blah 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 blah. Well, I hope they might have thought I was like homophobic or something. But what happened was, so I was talking to this lady at Walmart, and I was like, I'm like, that's the guy. I was like, I didn't know why that, and I canceled them, and I felt bad afterwards because I found out it was a couple, and I hope they didn't think I was homophobic or something, but they might have, I don't know. But I didn't know why they booked it for Valentine's Day, and it turns out, and she's like, no. She's like, oh, he's the nicest guy. No, because he worked at Walmart. I was like, that's the guy that booked my Airbnb, because they have pictures on Airbnb and stuff. And I felt bad because I canceled them because I didn't know what was up. And it turns out like they lived with his mom. And so they were wanting a night. And oh gosh, I had some I had someone that was probably a cheater book my Airbnb once. And he was from Atlanta and booked the Airbnb just like like you cook a hotel to and then leave. It was wild, you guys. It was wild. I'm like, I can't keep doing this. This is so he didn't even stay the night. And I'm like, yeah, he probably has a girlfriend or a wife in Atlanta. And he met this person when he was, because I was about 99 miles or so south of Atlanta. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I started to do that. I started to do that when I was sort of stuck in St. Louis, but I didn't keep it up. I did keep up with I kept doing the devotions, but yeah, I probably won't do one every day, but maybe every other day. I could try. I could try. I might could do that because I tried to do that. I started to do it, but I didn't keep up with it. So I started to do the poem of the day. I'll share one with you. Um, oh, let me share this. Wait, no. Here's the invisible song that inspired the poem. So be careful going out to a video though. You might want to just go at the end or something, because if you're like, especially if you're on your phone, it might take you out of this live. But if you do go out and you're like on a computer, just come right back. Please. 6 watching. Thank you all for being here. So let me see if I can find one of my poems of the day. And I also need to work on my do my what do you call them? I can't think of the name. Oh, okay. I just did a poem by somebody else on this day. Okay, here's the What Elephant poem. Okie dokie, let me find it. I did one that was someone else's poem, so I don't want to share that. Oh, you do? Okay, the William Berkeley ones. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do them a lot for me, and I'm just like, I've thought about quitting because they're not like they're not my popular ones. But I'm like, no, I want to keep doing it. I want to finish because I'll finish that devotional in December. And so I might start doing like either a different book. I have one that's really good, Letting God, that I've done some from before. I might do that book, or the Confident Woman devotional by Joyce Meyer. Probably the Letting God one, but I'll probably start another one in December. Or he has volume 2. I could do that one also. But yeah, and I've gotten better at doing the William Barclay's daily devotion because I used to do them like any time, like whenever I get to it on the day of. And now I do them the day before. So they come out every day at 12. And I do the thumbnail, which will have the date on it. So I'm getting more organized. I'm getting all my ducks in a row, like I said last week, I think. Yeah. And my watch time is going up. It's going up. So, and let's see something. I write it down so that I can compare and I know whether it's going up or not because I go to the page and it tells me for that day. Well, let me just look right on here. Okay. You have a different profile, a new profile picture, CW? Let me go over here and see. I think I have like 1072. 5,000 views in a month is pretty good. That's about average for me. I have 1,073 subscribers today as of September 13th. This says as of September 13th. 2,428 watch hours. And that I need to get to 3,000 in order to have memberships and super chats and all of that. And then I have to get to 4,000 to get ads. Yeah, did you just change it? Do you do content on your channel? Who's a content creator? Let's see. I thought I had this open already. I guess I don't. My computer. Oh, okay. Well, I won't go to your channel then. I can see your pictures changed on here. So, alrighty then. 1 hour and 44 minutes. So that went better. So Wednesday, I was just like, I was just kind of tired and oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you like my channel. That's good. So Wednesday, my life was just, I was kind of tired and I was just like, I'm saying the same poems and I'm blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Monday. Yeah, Monday I was. Um, yeah, Monday's live was just like I only went an hour, and so I need to get into it. I decided to keep going like 2 hours because it seems to get better as I get into it, and so yeah, I mean Monday. I do mean Monday. Um, yeah, and going 3 times a week, yeah, is helping because like before I got my job, I was going at lunch a couple times a week. Um, so going live at lunch every day for a while. I don't know. Every weekday, I think I maybe was. I was doing a lunch live. But see, that's easier. That's why I decided like I'll start doing just dinner with the red is on Friday. Dinner with the red is on Friday. Okay. Um, let me share with you this. You got to see this skit. It's a mom doing a skit. Wait. I don't. I wrote. I wrote the wrong word. Not skit, but it was at the Women of Faith conference. And that's what inspired that poem. Nicole Johnson. It's by Nicole Johnson. And The Invisible Woman. And that very much goes with like what I went through like in my marriage, and at the end being a mom, it's just like they're not appreciating all I'm doing. And it's like my whole life, I poured my whole life into these kids, and they're not being appreciative. So in my book, let me share this skit on there. It's not invisible. It's invisible skit. Yeah. Yeah, dinner and movie on Friday. Yeah. So what do you want me to make? Should I Oh, the Alfredo, I already have it. The fettuccine Alfredo I have frozen in the freezer. So I could do grill some shrimp and fettuccine Alfredo, shrimp fettuccine Alfredo, or chicken parmesan. What do you think? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, Ark. We'll pray for you. Oh my goodness, a migraine since Monday. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's pray for you right now. Dear Lord, please be with Bren, Lord. Please take her her migraine away, Lord. Just please be with her, Lord. Give her doctor's wisdom and please let her her migraine stop, Lord. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Yeah, Alyssa Vanilla, she wasn't doing as much on her channel. She isn't doing that much lately. I don't know. Because she was having migraines and she was having to go to the doctor and everything. And she bought a new van and she built it out, a little van. And then she didn't like it, so she sold that. I don't know if she's gotten a new van yet. But anyways, she gets migraines and I can't imagine. It's so that so so this really stood out to me. I was reading this today in my codependency book. We have each experienced in our own ways the painful trauma of the emptiness of our childhood and relationships throughout our lives. We attempted to use others, our mates, our friends, and even our children as our sole source of identity. So this is what I did with my children and why our relationship was so unhealthy. Our sense of identity, our source of identity, value, and well-being. And as a way of trying to restore within us the emotional losses from our childhoods, and to try to restore within us the emotional losses from our childhoods. Our histories may include either powerful addictions, which at times we have used to cope with our codependence. Yeah. And food was definitely my mom. My mom knew she was codependent, and she had gone to meetings off and on throughout her life. Yeah, I hope it goes away. Yeah, well, it's almost been an hour, so I'm going to let y'all go. And yeah, I kind of shared with you like what's coming up and stuff. And yeah. Be authentic. Don't be fake. And don't say yes when you want to say no. Okay? Let's be real. Let's be real. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've had a bad headache, but I don't think I've ever had a migraine. Yeah, my brother Tim used to get those too. Yeah. Yeah, and it stopped. Alyssa Vanilla. She has a good channel if you are interested in that van life channel. I'm still a member on her channel, I think. But yeah, she hasn't done a video in a while. And that was why, because she was having migraines. Yeah, 3 months ago. there's a list of vanilla if you're interested. But yeah, it's hard for others. You don't really know. I know I had a friend in Georgia when our kids were little, when our oldest kids were little, when my oldest kids were little, and I used to take her to the hospital when she'd get them. Hey, Granny, how are you? I was just about to pray for everybody. But you can watch the replay. I hope you're good. And don't forget, everybody, to pray for Lindy, too, okay? Pray for each other and pray for Lindy. Yes, thank you for praying for Glenn. Dear Lord, thank you for these YouTube friends, Lord. I pray that you would be with them all, Lord. I pray you bless Glenn. Thank you that he's able to come back. And I pray that you would bless him and his family. And thank you that he hasn't had any migraines this year, Lord. We pray you'll continue to not have any migraines, Lord. We pray for Bren that you would take away her migraine, Lord, and that she would get better, Lord, and you give her doctor's wisdom. And please also be with her mom and continue to heal her and be with her. Please bless Sylvia and be with her and bless her family and keep everybody safe as they travel, Lord. I pray for Betty, pre-retirement days, and I thank you for her and her comments and her support. And I pray that you would bless her and her family. And I pray you guide us all in our lives, Lord. I pray for CW and that you bless him and his family. And I pray for Lori, Euphoric Granny, that you would bless her and her family and her children and her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren, Lord. Lord, I pray for all of my children. Thank you for the word that I should be able to go at Christmas, and maybe my son will go at the same time as me, Lord. Thank you for that. I pray that you would help him to find a job, another job, Lord. And I pray for all of my children, Lord, that you bless them and watch over them and keep them safe, Lord, that they would know that you are real and that you love them, Lord. Please bless my grandbabies, Freya and Lily and Noah, and bless them and keep them well and healthy. And thank you for them, Lord. And I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Granny. Yes, prayers, positive thoughts. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to see you Friday. I think I'm probably going to do the chicken parmesan. I think I'll probably do that. I don't think I'll cook all of it. I'll probably do a short and video it before. Well, we'll see. But I'm probably going to either do the chicken parmesan or do the shrimp. So look for me on Friday. It would be 5:30 Mountain Time here in Denver, which is 4:30 Pacific Time, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. Thank you for praying for me. Thank you so much. All right. Don't say that no one cares for you, because I do, and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. Bye.